Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Universe Decade Tycoon by developer Evil Ion. This is another game from the LD27 competition with the theme of 10 seconds and probably one of the most creative ones that I've run into so far in my observations of this little competition. This actually may end up being one of the last of this the cycles coverage, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm running short now on my list, so we might be getting back to normal games pretty soon, but I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one. So it's a very cool concept. What it is picture something like Thomas Was Alone, only then make it a god sim, and then have to manage like 20 worlds of Thomas Was Alone at the same time. Although it's quite simplified, to be honest. It's actually so simplified it almost seems a little bit like a Tamagotchi, but I think it has to be to balance properly with what it is that we're exactly figuring out here. So, it's almost a minute here, so let's just try to actually play the game and see how it goes. So we're going to hit play. We've got a tutorial here who's going to pop up and drag stuff around. We got a spam, which we can drag out of the way. Hi, I'm the Tuto. You can drag and drop me just as you can drag and drop this little world. Here is a first guy. You can, let's see, you can give him a direction and make him jump by clicking near him, like so. And we can guide him around, and here's a coin. Make the guy pick it. The coin's value increase with the number of people and peaks in the world. So what we're going to be introduced here is a number of different worlds, all sort of, I think, generated on the fly. Talking about peaks, here is one: prevent your people from falling on it or they'll die and you'll lose points. So that's really the only impetus to be careful is we've got spikes and we've got coins. New events happen every 10 seconds. You have 10 minutes to gather the most points possible by picking up the coins. And I think that is about all there is to say. And yeah, you have to manage several little worlds. Good luck. Okay, so let's get rid of these. I guess they'll find their way off anyway. So we've got this little area of effect style cursor that we're going to use, and we've got a couple worlds here to manage so far. Pretty calm little worlds, and we don't really have any kind of system for management yet. There isn't a whole lot to see or do, but now we're going to see some terraforming taking place. The worlds are going to look a little different at times, and we're going to have multiple little people to manage as well. You'll notice that coin just faded away because I didn't get to it in time. That is almost always the case from my experience. I played about the half of one game of this to get a feel for what it is that I'll be doing, and my experience was that basically every single time a coin showed up, it was going to be on the other side of the map or just slightly too high to reach. But like the tutorial rather said, there are events, and I guess I missed that coin, or maybe I picked it up. I think the number might have gone up. The events can range from terraforming, new people being introduced. There could be also some water levels changing. There may even be other stuff other than that, but I haven't seen too much other stuff. And so the challenge is to try and manage these little guys as there become more and more worlds. Oh, I got that coin even though it had mostly all faded out. And once you start dealing with all of this stuff happening at the same time, it becomes very difficult to shift your attention to where you need to be at any given moment. But that is the challenge, of course, and that is why it is a game and why it is entertaining and different. So I've never quite seen anything like this. The UI, I mean, it sort of reminds me a little bit of the introduction of Meteos, the DS puzzle matching style game, which I actually thought was one of my favorites. And that you can sort of customize and move things around to your own taste and make, if you need to, make sort of a system of how you want to deal with scenarios that are going to present themselves. So if you want, you could actually sort things, so we say make it so everything that I've gotten a coin on recently, I will move down to the bottom, and then that'll give me a way to manage what's still going on, what's fresh and what's new. But then again, you might forget to look at them, so I don't know if there's really a proper way to do it, but that is one way to do it anyway. And then you just got to keep trying to click and hope that your guy will go in the right direction, because you can't exactly force them to go where you want. You can just guide them by clicking and hope they jump in the direction that you sort of have indicated a little bit. You also can't seem to manage, like, which guy exactly. I guess you would, like, put them in the radius, but you can't always predict exactly what they're going to do. So now I've got a situation where every world has a whole bunch of spikes on it. No worlds seem to have coins. Alright, there's one. Oh, no, everybody got a coin on that run. Alright, this guy here, there's a 3 block. I'm not going to be able to reach that. This one, 3 block. No coin. Oh, wait, the coin is there, but I'm probably not going to reach it in time. And no coin on that one. Alright, this one might have a chance because we have water in our favor, but the coin is already fading away. I can't swim there in time, I don't think. Well, I might have gotten that one. I'm not 100% sure. I got to really look at that number each time. And I'm going to try and rearrange them so we can see as many as possible on each run. because eventually it's going to become so many that you won't be able to fit them all on the same screen, which is it's unfortunate and fortunate at the same time, because it means that the level of chaos has risen considerably, and it also means that there's a good chance that some of your people might just pick up some coins just completely by accident. I just jumped over that coin. Oh, I think I got that one. Oh, sweet. Double coin there. Can we get... Nice. Get one up there, and now it seems like things are starting to make sense. Yeah, oh, one of them landed on a spike. The amount you lose for the amount you gain is not really that concerning. So if you hit a couple spikes, you know, it sucks, but it's not the end of your game or anything. It's not going to bankrupt you as far as points go. And the game does, of course, keep track of your last high score, so if you want to keep some sort of a competition running with yourself, you can feel free to do that. And the same goes to you guys. If you want to keep a competition with my score, I would urge you guys to go ahead and try this out. It is totally free, being one of the LD competition submissions. Those are always free. And I would like to hear what your opinions are as well, although I still have, I think, a little ways to go yet. There isn't any, like, grand timer showing us, I think, the total amount anywhere, which I do actually have one just by virtue of recording, but I think most of the time you would not. It could be kind of useful information, especially when you start to get in the more frenzied state. You want to know how much time you have left, but I guess you could always keep track yourself if you really needed to. Let's see if we can get over to the left there. There we go. The amount of jump power that the characters have, too, doesn't seem to be obvious to me, so it seems like most of the time when I trigger them to jump, well, I'm trying my best anyway. Sometimes they just have a mind of their own, which is part of the fun, I guess. And I just realized just now that that little, the building set of circles around my cursor is the 10-second timer. It took me way longer than it should have for me to figure that out. It was pretty obvious. So new interactions happen every single time that happens. I thought that was like charges of how many times I could tell my little guys to jump around, but it is not. I should mention, of course, also, reasonably cool little music soundtrack going on in the background. It's not intrusive in any way. It doesn't really get in your way, and it definitely does the job to set a tone. The fact that the graphics are so minimalistic, I actually find that to be kind of charming and attractive in this case, because it really does speak to the fact that the game is extremely minimal. You really don't have to consider too much more beyond the interaction between these very basic shapes. And I think, you know, if you did anything more complex than this, it probably would end up taking away from the charm and the sense of just sort of like a homegrown artsiness to it. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but I don't know, it feels right to me, is what I'm trying to say. If we could get this guy over this too late. Alright, so there's terraforming going on. We've got too many landscapes. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm just moving these around. Looking for coins, if there are any coins that want to present themselves. You do have to actually keep dragging them for them to go to the top of the pile. Because, oh, no, that guy fell. Now we're in a position, yep, I can't get him to hit that coin. Not too late. Coin's gone. What about this one here? Oh, that guy just landed on it by default. Spike just happens to be in the wrong place. Oh, come on. Just get that coin. It could be very interesting to see what would happen to the gameplay if you were able to actually assume direct control of one of these characters by putting it as your focused window. That could be kind of a cool concept. I'd like to see, like, what if you did this where each world became an ever-changing, like, terraforming and remorphing and just evolving set of platforming challenges that you had to keep switching back and forth behind or between. And you actually did control literally the exact movements of the character. What would that do? And these coins are going to show up randomly still, but they might be in positions where, you know, with some skill and dexterity, you might be able to get them at some points where in other cases you might not. That would make management much, much more difficult, granted. But in this case, I think we're relying on the fact that we don't always need to control every single thing and micromanage to that level of detail, because occasionally our dudes are actually picking up the coins completely by themselves, although not super commonly. I think one of them just flew off into the sky at the bottom there. I'm not sure what was up with that. Maybe that one drowned or something? It didn't seem to hit a spike as far as I could tell. So we'll just keep on going. I think we're running out of time. I think any moment now we're going to hit the final few moments, and we're at over 1,000 points. I think that's probably good. Wow, that spire, I didn't think I could hop over that. It was actually quite high. What's going... Oh, there's dudes behind that, and I was seeing them in the background. That's probably when I saw the dude. I thought it was his soul. It was just a window behind it, perhaps. It is a little confusing at times when you've got this many things going on at once, when there's also transparency effects going on, too. You're seeing things, like, layered in depth, which could be kind of a cool concept as well. What if you were to shift in and out of these landscapes as well as left and right and up and down and go to J. Smith Town or something like that? Is there a coin reasonably accessible? That one's too high. I don't think any more of these coins are presenting themselves, and I am going to be out of time in probably under a minute now. Left. Oh, get it. There, we got it. So 1,125 seems decent to me. We could even add, like, more world effects. We could see more distortions, more shifting. We could have volcanoes erupting. I mean, of course, when you think about it, that's probably only going to make things more frustrating, though, considering you don't have direct control over the characters. Any sort of things beyond these spikes is probably going to become maybe overkill, but, you know, still, concepts like that would be interesting. Especially if maybe you could apply some, like, tower defense concepts to this, where maybe you could level up some of your people so they have specific skills. Maybe apply an attribute, sort of like you would do in Lemmings, where you could say this guy is a rock climber and then he can climb up sheer cliff faces, or you got a guy that can blow up large impediments, or, you know, you would build and tailor the gameplay concept to something like that as you go. And I think I've got to be just about out of time now. It seems like we're well beyond... Oh, I think all the people might be dying, is that... No? Okay, they're coming back. I'm not sure what to say about that. What's going on in the background, by the way? It looks like one of the covers of a band called Botch, which is not a bad thing. It's just sort of an interesting abstract image going on. There's like jittering cubes, which, you know me, I do love a good jittering cube. How are we still going? Hasn't the time run out? I could have sworn this has been over 10 minutes now. Maybe I'm doing so well that the time limit does not apply to me anymore. Anything could be possible. It's like we're running a bunch of little mini ant farms. The Universe Decade Tycoon. We are indeed tycoons in this case. Looking for more coins, not seeing any. I also like the color schemes, how they're different. Just these little implications of having this one's like kind of citrus colored, and then we've got like a lavender, bluey, purpley one, and then we've got like the green one. Your mind sort of starts to assign all these attributes to the landscape and starts to tell a story about it that isn't actually going on at all. But it's kind of an interesting thing to see. You know, you see this reddish, bluish one, and you start to think about, like, what's going on in this landscape. Is this, like, volcanic rock or something? Is this hotter? Is it a hotter world than this world? Maybe the gray world has cooled down a little bit. I don't know. And there we go. Okay, I guess time's up. So we've got our stats. Our total score, 1,306. Some stats extra to that. We've got coins picked up, 54. Coins lost, 104. Wow, that's a lot of them. Natural deaths, 37. Oh, okay, so that's sometimes they'll just die on their own accord. And then bursts, 96. Earthquakes, oh, I didn't even catch that there were earthquakes, 199. Tides, 123. And peaks, 177. I was calling them spikes, but I guess the game defines them as peaks. Either way, I think that works just fine. So, I guess with that, we will wrap up our coverage of Universe Decade Tycoon. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I think it's a very innovative, very cool concept. We went over a lot of different ideas that could take this in a different direction if the developer wanted to continue to work on this even more. But you guys are totally free to go check this out yourself. I'd love to hear your input on what you would do differently, or change, or remix, or, you know, reimagine. There is an actual downloadable client version. There's also a browser-based version, so if you want to try this out, you don't even have to download anything necessarily. Just click through the links and see what you can find. And that's going to be right in the description of this video. In addition to that, though, there is also some of my social media information if you'd like to go peruse through there. We've got my Facebook, my Twitter, my Twitch page, and of course indie-impressions.com, which if you'd like to check out, over 500 more indie games for you to see, all of which are tagged and categorized, so if you want to look for a specific type of game, or even one that's specific to a type of competition, like the other LD games, you can always sort through those. Just, you know, click a couple little buttons on the side there, and then you'll get a list of all the games of that type. So it could be handy for if you want to look through all of the massive amount. In fact, over 500 games is not an easy thing to just look through, so you kind of need that stuff, I think. But hopefully you enjoyed the coverage. Of course, any comments and suggestions are always welcome. I do take suggestions, so if you have a game you'd like to see on the channel, feel free to let me know. I also appreciate any support in the form of likes, if you think I deserve them, of course. If you're enjoying the series, let me know that as well. All of that information is great to see in the comments, and I am super glad to have you here, as always. If you didn't know already, Indie Impressions is a daily thing. I do it every single day. I've been doing it for over a year. Like I said, over 500 episodes already. So if you're enjoying the series, let me know. I will continue. With your support, we'll go on indefinitely, I suppose. The goal originally was to see if I could do it for a year, and, you know, it seemed like things were going well, so I figured why not keep going. So, of course, be sure to be back again tomorrow if you'd like to see another one. It might be the end, like I said, of the LD coverage for now. Of course, I will pick up again when the next competition happens. But, you know, maybe if I see another really standout one, no reason to avoid it or anything. I like to do them in blocks and then go back to, like, the traditional games and go back and forth, you know. Something like that, anyway. If you followed me for a while, you know I kind of go through these little cyclical things. But that is going to do it again, guys. Hope to see you tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and have a lovely night. Later.